Each day and each night were about the same. The bartender let me in at 5 a.m. I had to listen to his stories as he mopped the place up and got things ready. But the drinks were free until 7 a.m. when the bar opened. The 7 a.m. crowd was a good one. I could usually work with them for some drinks. But by 8:15 a.m., there were few patrons left. I had to nurse my drinks and wait. I used the few coins I had to keep the drinks slowly arriving. The painful time came when I ran out of coin. The trick was to never empty your glass. It was a rule. As long as you had something in your glass, you stayed. Sometimes the time really bludgeoned me, and my damn tongue was hanging out too. At noon, a few more would drift in. They all knew me. I put on a good late night show. Wild sentences of gibberish, fistfights, even a few profound statements. In the times I had money, I bought for everybody. I was the nut, the good guy, the bad guy. But in the daylight hours, I had no zip. Those were the hard hours. I had to milk those drab suckers for drinks. One way or the other, I got them. Ran errands, got a little coin. As the afternoon went toward evening, things began to get better. I got drunker, more inventive, more interesting. It got into party time, good luck time. And the nights were great. Drinks arrived before me, and I had no idea where they had come from. Sometimes the nights and the days got mixed up. I seemed to be sitting in daylight, and then it was dark all at once. Or it worked the other way around. It was dark, and in the next moment, it was daylight. I once asked the bartender, "Hey Jim, did you notice that it was dark and now the sun is shining? Isn't that strange?" "No," he answered. "You went to your room and then came back again." At times I resented my role. The patrons were hardly intellectual. There was a lifeless and satisfied deadness about them, and yet I had to depend upon their whims. I was on that bar stool for 3 years, from 5 a.m. to 2 a.m. I must have slept while I drank. I believed that I was trying to kill myself with drink and back alley brawls, but it wasn't working. My greatest problem were my toenails, which I never cut, and which pained me in my shoes. But eventually they broke off, or the whole nail would fall off, leaving that tender flesh, plus a few split lips, mangled fingers, lumps on the knee, from falling, and that was the extent of it. I was evicted from room after room, but always managed to find another. It was as good as life as I could eke out. I was avoiding becoming ensnared in a common manner of living. I truly believed that this was important to me when everything else was not. And the one stool was mine. The one down at the end of the bar. It was all that I owned. It was all that I needed. There was no other man I preferred to be, or no other way that I preferred. I was at the peak of my courage, sitting there, waiting for that next drink. Do you see what I mean?